Do you enjoy content on this channel and would like to help support the channel? You can do so by contributing $1.99 a month. That's about the price of a taco. So if you'd like to spot me a taco once a month, just click that join button down below and follow the instructions. Thank you in advance for your love and support, and now enjoy today's video. Bienvenidos and welcome back, familia, to this is the first of the podcast where we're coming right back with a new series called Spirit Led, and we're going to invite all kinds of wonderful people on here to talk about music, talk about films, talk about life, and most importantly, talk about God stuff. I don't know how else to word that, but I am excited. If you are on the live chat, please remember to hit that like button. It'll let everybody know. It'll let YouTube know that we've started, and it'll start sharing it with more people. So hit that like button. I'd like to welcome Roxana and David and Angela to the live chat. I see you there. I am excited because today, my guest today is the frontman to a Christian band that is beginning to get some recognition in the Christian community. New release today calls him, quote, the next big thing. Radio U calls his music a distinctive and emotionally resonant. He recently released a new single titled Fighting For Me, which we will listen to in a bit. Erica and I had the pleasure of seeing him live in Oceanside recently with Katie. And he was my first guest on my previous podcast, and he is now coming back as my first guest again, coming back into it. Please help me give a warm welcome in the live chat to my good friend, James Collington. James, or is it just Collington?
Whatever you want, man. Whatever you want. It's good to see you, bro.
Good to see you, man. Welcome to the podcast once again.
So good to be here. It's first of a second first. So
yeah, a second first,
and a good start here.
Hopefully, we'll have more conversations like this before. I mean,
yeah,
again, what am I
I'm down for it, man.
I'm excited because my lighting is a lot better than it was the first time we met.
Oh man, mine's so busted, but it's
no, you're good. You're good. I like the background. It looks very grungy.
It's a Zoom filter, so
is it really? No, it's not.
No, not at all. This is so.
I loved getting to meet you in person, man. We met in person with Erica and Katie. I heard you play live. And that was exciting to see you.
It was a good time, man. Where you guys live down there, it's so beautiful. I know you're not in Oceanside, but just the whole area of the country is fascinating to me. I love it.
If you came to my area, you wouldn't think that because we don't have the beach. It's just desert.
I'd probably love it, man. I live in the Central Valley, and everybody puts their nose up at it, but I love it here, man. So
really? Okay, well, maybe you might like it. Maybe one day we'll have tacos together.
It's a date.
So you've been out on the road.
Yeah. So just came back from the East Coast tour and continental US East Coast, and then but we were near Canada. Like we played like 3 minutes from the border, so we're going to Montreal. So I busted out my French. If there's anything worse than my Spanish, it's my French. They make sure you know it there, but their food and warmth is unparalleled. I love it there.
That's wonderful. And what's it been like being on the road?
It's been good, man. It's awesome. It's just with like these new songs that I've been putting out, because I'm putting out more new songs, and so it kind of just felt like the songs I have to play, and then the songs I want to play. The songs I want to play being the new ones. So it feels like a shift for me in a number of ways, and I've just been kind of leaning into it. And every show on the road was different. Everyone was special, and it's just been really cool, just kind of leaning into this new phase.
Nice. We tried to get together before your song was released, but our schedules were clashing.
Yeah. And then I got COVID, and then
and I was having some issues with my sound, and you were kind enough to help me over the phone
I don't
as
know that
best
I
you
helped
could.
you as much as I was just kind of like there, like supporting you, like, hey, you got
That's helpful. That helped.
you're not in
Um,
it alone. Yeah,
but you just recently had a song release called "Fighting for Me."
that's the song. Yeah. So worked with a producer named Jake Rye out in Michigan on these batches of songs, and he's just a force. And basically, he was like, "Send me all your demos from 4 years," and that was a song I wrote probably in 2018. I didn't even send him that demo. Actually, I forgot about it. And then kind of a weird story. Like my wife's best friend was in town. I had to go to the grocery store to get something, and I'm just driving, and all of a sudden that chorus kind of came into my head. And I'm just going to the store. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Maybe we could do that song again, but probably not. And then so when you're recording audio, you never record to the computer hard drive. You always want to record to the external hard drive. The idea is that it's just less wear on the computer, and you kind of just outsource it, and everybody's doing their part in the computer world. And so I always record to an external hard drive. And I was kind of just looking through something and going through the documents folder on my Mac.
That's
And
fun.
all of a sudden I found the original demo for that song. And I was like, all right, I think I might need to do this song. And so it was just an idea, and basically just kind of penned a bunch of things I was just processing at the time and learning to accept, and just kind of put that to a song. And there were kind of, every time I work with a new producer, there's always they won't always say it, but there's always a set of rules. And like one guy I worked with, he's like, we're only doing iPhone demos. If you send me anything else, I won't listen to it. Like, there's just rules. And so Jake's rules was, we're not making music for anybody but ourselves. So if we're going to do this, it's got to be something we love. And he's got such a ranging background from Christian music to rock and roll to indie rock. And he's like, this just has to be authentic. He's like, I don't want to do Christian music for the sake of doing Christian music, which is awesome because I feel like some people do. And there's an integrity thing to that.
Yeah.
And so my test was, if Jake approves of this song, then we'll go for it. So he was kind of my fleece that I threw out there. And he was like, his response was like, can you sing this night after night and mean it? And I was like, absolutely. He's like, let's do it. So
Oh, that's great. And we're going to listen to it now, if that's okay with you.
I would love that. Let's do it, man. I love listening to my own music.
We're going to do like a live reaction here. Not much talking, but we're going to listen to it. Familia, if you're ready, let's go ahead and get some thumbs up in the live chat or some hearts.
Thumb it.
And we're going to listen to Fighting for Me by Collington.
That's my car. That's what the lights are for this.
That's great.
And I take my eyes off you, I start to fall. Help me to rest in the promise that you gave me. When I wait on you, I will rise.
I love that drum, the way it comes in, man. Bass.
Jake the snake.
Your promises are true for me.
Ooh, love that little pause there. Come on, familia. That guitar is like seagulls in the background.
to me, reaching out to me. Your love is fighting for me, pushing through all my fears. I can stand my ground, I don't need to run. Your love is fighting for me.
Love that, man.
Your love is fighting for me. Your love is fighting for me. Pushing through all my fears. I can stand my ground, I don't need to run. Your love is fighting for me. Your love is fighting for me.
All right. I
Hey.
love that. How many arches should we give this song, Familia? Let us know in the live chat. We have David who asked this question. What is it like listening to yourself? Just get used to it after a while, or does it seem a little bit weird for you?
You get used to it. The thing that you never get used to is hearing yourself like on a phone, or like if I listen back to this, I'll be like, oh geez, is that me? But singing, for some reason, you do get used to it for some reason. Yeah.
That's great. And you know, I really like this song because it has like this sort of like a beach setting for me. Like I just picture cruising down Oceanside, windows down, listening to it, cruising.
The seagull noise, we actually recorded that at In-N-Out. Those are the seagulls in the parking lot. So
at an In-N-Out parking lot. Love it.
That's
I
it.
love it. So tell me about the song. What inspired this song? The lyrics are great, and I noticed that some people pointed out the lyrics in the live chat as well.
Yeah. So again, it's just stuff I was processing and kind of learning at the time. So the opening line, basically, when I take my eyes off you, I start to fall. I realized that, you know, the best times in my life when things seem to be going the best are always when my eyes are on Jesus, you know, and, you know, having been a believer for a number of years, you know, you see this along in so many people's lives, you know, when they're kind of living in community with other believers, going to church, spending time with the Lord, and in that kind of that relationship, things seem going really well for them. But as soon as they take their eyes away, that things start to happen. Things start to get weird when you kind of walk out from that covering. And for me, it was just kind of that awareness, like, God, like when my eyes are on you, things go really well. And more than wanting success, more than wanting things to go well, more than numbers, God, just keep my eyes on you, because that's the relationship that matters the most, more than anything else.
Was there something specific that was going on in your life at that time?
Oh man, at that time when I was just kind of pulling songs together, there was a lot of pressure for a number of reasons, just with kind of people that were watching us and observing us, if you will. And for me at that time, it's just like I didn't know how to handle that pressure, especially because we'd put out a song prior to that had done really well in kind of the indie / Christian world, if you will. And I didn't really know how to follow that up because I'm not that smart. And so for me, it was just like I didn't know what else to do but kind of just write songs in the presence of God, and just out of a relationship. And it was me just kind of processing life. And again, I didn't know how to handle that pressure, but I knew someone who did, so kind of pushing into that.
Isn't that the truth? Like you come up with something as a content creator, you have, for me, I can speak for myself. Just I have a video that goes out and it does really well, and then you think, I can never do anything better than that. Like, what if I never get to make another video that has that kind of impact on people? Do you experience the same with music?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's weird, man, because it's always the things you never expect that do well. And so if that's the formula, then you just got to do something you love that resonates with you, and hopefully it resonates with someone else. Kind of like if you write a song for 1,000 people, you might reach one, but if you write a song for one, you might reach 1,000 people. And so for me, I've just decided to keep it on kind of a personal level for that reason. And I don't know how to play band, you know what I mean? It's just always been an authentic thing to me. So yeah.
One of the things that I noticed when I was watching you play in Oceanside was your strumming, and I pointed it out because you have a really interesting way of strumming. It's not like most guitarists. And I asked you about that. Do you remember what you said?
Well, before we get to that, I remember you're like, do you know that when you sing high notes, you stand on your tippy toes?
Oh yeah.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah. Collington, when he stands on his tiptoes to reach the higher notes. It's funny because sometimes I always joke when I sing and I have to go to a higher note and I'm singing in front of a crowd. I say, "Whoa! I almost had to get on a chair just to reach that note." And here you are going on your tiptoes just to reach those high notes.
But funny thing is, if you like, something I learned is that if you have to hit a high note, if you physically kind of like duck like that, you can normally hit the note. If you go down physically, you can go up somehow. Don't ask me what it is. There's a thing to it.
Okay.
But in reply to the strumming part, I remember we were talking about drums, and I think you were like, I knew it or something like that. Because I told you I started as like a drummer. You're like, that makes so much sense. I knew that.
Yeah,
Is that how that went? Am I making that up?
No, because you change strumming patterns in between, and then sometimes I feel like you want to strum, but you go into like this sort of finger picking, but tapping with your wrist, and it's almost like drumming. But I was like, hey, you have a really interesting way of strumming the guitar. Like,
Yeah.
what's up with that? What's up with that? More or less was my question. And you're like, well, I'm a drummer first, and I'm like, that makes sense because it's like it's like you're drumming while you're playing.
Yeah. Especially acoustic. It's kind of a percussive element. I knew this dude. He used to play and tell me like the kind of music like Elvis used to do is like a 3-piece or something, where it's like a guitar, acoustic guitar, and a bass. And the bass, the upright bass, the way it's played, it almost is a percussion instrument.
It's a lot of tapping on the board.
Yeah,
on the fretboard. Yeah,
and it's that always kind of stuck with me. So I've always kind of viewed acoustic as almost a percussion instrument in a sense.
Yeah, you are striking right the strings.
That's it. Beating it.
That's great. And so what feedback have you gotten on this song that you just released, Fighting For Me?
It's funny. It's a different song. So for me putting it out, especially again in response to what I'd put out before, it kind of feels like a heel turn on what I was doing. And so I wasn't too sure. Like the night before, like even hours before, I was like, well, this could be the end of my my career. And but the response has been really, really good. And this is, I guess, I have something I have to give Jake credit for, is just lyrically, I've never been so potent and to the point. And because normally I can be a little wishy-washy just to not, like I can do a whole song and play a whole show, and then we can walk away with you having no idea what I'm thinking about. And for me, it's just kind of being black and white. This is A, B, and C, and being direct. And that's, I mean, who would know that if you communicate clearly, it would resonate with people. So I've had a lot of people just saying like, hey, this is something I needed to hear right now. This line resonated with me, which versus before I was like, hey, man, this is a ripping song. And so for me, that's been worth it, just to kind of go deep with people, especially because, I think especially in a walk with the Lord, a lot of things you battle with end up becoming your victory, and that victory you can kind of hand out to other people. And it's been cool to kind of see that.
What is the lyric that best resonates with you in this song?
Putting faith before fear. There's a line that references that on the bridge, I would say. And for me at the time, it resonated with me a lot, but down the road, it kind of came full circle in a way for me, prophetically almost, I would say, where I was talking with my mom months later. I was going through some stuff, and she a few years ago had her cancer return. So she had ovarian cancer probably like 10, 15 years ago, maybe. And then a few years ago, they found lung cancer, and they determined it was the same cancer somehow. I don't know how that works. And basically what she said to me was, in response to what I'd been talking to her about, she was like, James, when I found out I had cancer again, my pastor called me at the time and said, this can either be a really good thing or it can be a really good bad thing. And the difference between those two things depends on you. And it's whether you choose faith or fear. And in this thing that can just lead to someone's mortal death, to kind of take that perspective, that I'm going to choose faith over fear. And something that I've been learning recently is that faith is not being able to predict what God's going to do, or that say like I was sick, that the sickness was going to go away. That's not faith. Faith is knowing that even if I do have this for the rest of my life, that God is still good, and that he's still good, and I still trust him. I'm still going to walk with him.
That's special.
Yeah.
That's something really special, because the very first thing that you feel is that fear when you hear news like that. But then suddenly all the trivial things go flying out of the window. You're not thinking about who owes you money and who hurt you and all that. I feel like sometimes when you get that news is when you really begin to live. And
Yeah.
And a lot of us have the opportunity to step into that before, without hearing bad news. Anyway, I don't want to go into a rant there, but man, that's special. Familia, you all know, like, we all have something that troubles us, and if you can use that tag, what would you add to it at the end? I would choose to have faith instead of what is it that you're going through right now that you would replace with faith and trust, right, in God. Speaking of like having people tell you that you've impacted their lives, like, what is it? What's the two-part question. One, this song, how do you picture a person listening to it? Like, what's the typical listener, I guess you could say, or who? I'm not sure if that translates, if you understand my question.
Yeah.
The second part is, what do you want people to walk away with after hearing your song?
Yeah, for that, I would say, for who it is, I mean, anybody that wants to listen. I do really poorly with the idea of, hey, I'm going to write a song for someone between this age and this age. Demographically speaking, typically it's just like, this is where I'm at and this is what I can sing about. So for the who, I guess it's just, especially with a song like this, it's just, I mean, it's a song I can sing over and over. There was a while that, I guess for me at the end of the day, because like there's a while before the song was even out. Like I've got guitars around the house, so every time you pick it up, there's a song you play when you pick it up, whether that's Wonderwall, Freebird, Smells Like Teen Spirit, something's coming out, and it's usually the same song. Yeah. And for me, that's the song that came out, and for me, oh man, what felt like me just like, again, I'm writing from an honest place, just kind of making the song. It's just come back to bless me in a number of ways, where the words, I feel like, have resonated with me with things I've had to go through since putting it out, and just trusting that God is fighting for me. He's working on my behalf even when I can't see it, and that he's worth trusting. It's just a message that I don't think I'll ever get tired of.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing this this wonderful song with us, man. I'm really glad that you put it out, despite all the you being a little hesitant about it. It really does have a really powerful message, and I know that a lot of people are gonna listen to it and maybe walk away from it and feel empowered in some way, and feel that they can trust, even though they're going through something dark. If people wanted to discover your music, more of your music, what would be the best way to go about it?
I would say just head over to whatever your streaming platform is: Spotify, Apple Music, Kazaa, whatever you listen to music on, or download it from illegally, and just search Collington. It'll come up. You might even find some stuff I tried to eliminate from the internet.
From an emo time, maybe?
Not that far back. Some of the first Collington records are still up. I gotta find a way to take them down. If you pay Katie Donovan, she'll send them to you.
Yeah, Katie would definitely have them, and she can submit them if you're interested in watching some of Collington's most older tracks.
Please don't, Katie.
When should we expect to have another song released?
Oh geez, this is so bad. If you go to new release today, it's up there.
Okay.
So let me go there and see. It's July 29th, I want to say, is the next one.
July 29th.
I've got everything on a queue to go out, so it's just like I just kind of set it and forget it. Let me triple check. I'm like one click away. July 29th, yeah. And then
July 29th.
there's a October 14th song coming out as well, but that's really far away. But if you wanna, can I give away secrets on your platform?
Sure.
All right. So there's an acoustic version of Fighting For Me that's coming out. So
cool.
living in Northern California, you know, you got to take your guitar into a redwood forest and record a version of a song. So
Is that what you did, really?
Yeah, dude. So
Oh, that's so exciting.
I'll send it to you. Yeah,
Cool. Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
for sure, man.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here with us, man. Having a chat with us, sharing your music with us.
Thanks for having me, man.
If anybody is interested in exploring more of his music, you can go visit your favorite music streaming platform. You can also visit his website. It's the description. It's in the description down below. It's collingtonmusic.com. You have music to sell there, right, as well? If
It'll link you to something one way or another. Yeah.
And merch. I was gonna wear my Collington shirt today, but Erika has it in the car, so I couldn't. But yeah, you could support Collington by purchasing merch, things like that. Do they help when people buy merch? It helps.
It all helps, man. If you fall asleep and the song happens to be on a repeat, it helps.
Yeah.
Actually, don't do that. I can get in trouble for that. But yeah, merch, just listening, sharing. I mean, even something as small as like if you see a post online, if you see this posted online, this video, just liking, commenting, engaging with the post is one of the best ways you can support someone without even giving up money. So
right. Never underestimate the power of a like. Right.
Or the heart. The heart it counts for more on the algorithm.
There you go. See? So hit the heart, hit the likes, share the music as well. That helps tons. All right, familia. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you, Collington, for sharing your music, and we'll see you on our next adventure. Peace.